that will mess with your equilibrium. Peter Snake by Wright, a 4-time Euro Tour winner this year, takes former world champion in the Cobra Jelle klaasen in our opening game. Paul Nicholson, the asset, alongside me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box for the opening game of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Peter to throw first. Game on!
And we've just seen something quite incredible to kick off the evening session. You may be wondering why Jelle, on his entrance there, sort of feigned almost going off the stage.
60.
Well, our esteemed MC, Elmar Darts, Mr. Darts here in Germany, goes on stage for a good 20 minutes, half hour, warms
50.
up the crowd, gets somebody up out the crowd, they do a walk-on, they come on, who's your favourite player, all this sort of business. Well, we had a young, enthusiastic darts fan dragged up on stage who did a bit of headbanging, waving the hair around, got very excited, got dizzy, fell off the stage, right off
57.
it. Have you ever seen anybody fall off a dart stage, Paul?
Actually, I have. County game about 15, 16 years ago at the Northern Club in Ashington, Northumberland.
45.
There was a player, I forget his first name, but his second name was Keane, and he played for Berkshire. After that game, he was called Kamikaze Keane
140.
because he fell off the stage, and it was a big stage too. He fell off that stage and he just disappeared.
Never seen again.
He did get up, and he was fine, just like the person who fell off the stage this time. But yeah, Kamikaze Keane. Never forgotten that.
Well, perhaps not the biggest tumble we've seen this weekend, because the likes of Dave Chisnell, the world number 6, was knocked out of the tournament this afternoon by Dennis Nielsen, the former strongman from Sweden. He's up against a fellow unseeded player in Ron the Bomb Muhlenkamp, and the winner of that will face the winner of this one here. And it's an intriguing clash, this, because Peter Wright, no Michael van Gogh here this weekend. Hang about. Well, not going to take out the 146, but with no MVG here this weekend. Peter Wright's won 4 of these already this year. You would think he's the obvious candidate, but he's not played well all weekend.
He really hasn't, and do my eyes deceive me, or is he using different kit than what he was using early on?
I think he is. It might be the 3rd set of darts he's using all weekend, and he's ironically or sarcastically celebrating hitting a treble 20 and another treble.
All the other cares about is double top. 2 10s. Now, all of a sudden, after hitting next to very little, he can take this leg with 2 more good darts. Needs a very good one here for tops. Oh, he's nicked it. He has nicked it.
Well, Peter Wright has taken that one in 21 darts. That's probably still better than his opening legs in his 2 games so far this weekend. Against Ronnie Hybrex and Chris Quantock, it felt like we could have played all day before they hit a double, and finally Peter Wright has done it on double 1 in both cases, I think. This is more like it, snake bite. Much more like it.
Oh, he just needs a leg to get warmed up, doesn't he? Jelle won't be very happy at all about not closing out that first leg. All of a sudden, the crowd are involved. They're definitely going to be in Peter's corner because of his popularity. But if Jelle can get his head down and play to his potential, then there are definite opportunities that he's going to have.
57.
There have been really good signs this weekend for Jelle for the coming weeks.
There have. But Peter Wright comes into this quarter-final with a tournament average of around about 89. I mean, that is
45.
And that's, by his own high standards, it's pathetic. Because we expect Peter Wright to be averaging 100.
81.
Jelle's in the mid-90s, and he's looking all right here. Get a leg on the board, but he did miss a couple of darts in that opening leg.
140.
Right's there or thereabouts.
Treble 19, single 20, or 60 for double 5. That's more like it from the Cobra. And I noticed in the middle of that leg there was a shaking of the wrist for Jelle. Maybe it's just something that's crept into his game, you know, with the rehab. Just keeping it loose, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Jelle, of course, was struggling for a number of months with a tendonitis problem in his wrist, but he had surgery, and now says he's playing pain-free. It's just a slight weird quirk of fate that he was actually getting a lot more success when he's playing with the pain. And he had 5 Euro Tours where he made at least the semi-finals. Still looking for that first Euro Tour win, and Peter Wright is out to try and deny him a spot in the semis.
You should always beware the wounded man, Dan, because there are many tales of players not being 100% and doing ridiculous things. I actually won a Pro Tour with 2 broken ribs. I didn't realise until afterwards.
How had you broken them?
65.
I tried snowboarding. I was very, very silly. Darts players and extreme sports don't mix. Sometimes football as well. I remember Mark Webster getting injured from football and limping at Blackpool. But Peter Wright can set it up. Does set it up. These are the kind of shots that Jelle needs to take. Can I get a shot at a double? That double is double top.
82.
Only just misses it.
You require 40.
Well, he had a couple of darts in the first leg. He's had a dart there. Jelle will be thinking I could be 3-0 up here. But Peter Wright has led a charmed life so far this weekend. Bends the wire. Oh!
20.
Well, I said he's led a charmed life, but he's a bit unlucky there, because they were well-thrown darts. Not quite as well thrown as that one, though, and Jelle Klaasen does get a breaker throw that perhaps he deserves.
Yeah, people staring that double 10 down as if to say, you dare, you what? How dare you? But then, just to rub salt in the wound, Jelle comes up and hits it first dart.
60.
Jelle Klaasen does not have a Euro Tour title to his name, and when you look at how he's performed consistently over the last couple of years on the European Tour, it's astonishing. But it is Michael van Gerwen who has been his nemesis and has repeatedly beaten him, despite Jelle putting in some excellent performances. MVG has just been that little bit better, but with no Michael van Gerwen here,
131.
it is an opportunity. And he had an opportunity. He's had lots of opportunities. It's not all the time that it's Michael van Gerwen who's beaten him. Often it's been this man here, Peter Wright, because he beat him in Sindelfingen in the semi-finals early this year. He beat him in Saarbrücken in the semi-finals early this year. And it was 6-3 and 6-2 wins in those, so it was quite convincing stuff. Jelle was beaten by Alan Norris in the final of the German Darts Championship the back end of last year, and it was a game that it looked like Jelle had it, and Norris just came roaring back into it in his own inimitable way. But with 2 unseeded players in the other quarter-final in this half of the draw, it is a huge, huge chance for Jelle Klaasen to make another Euro Tour final and potentially go on and make this his first European Tour title.
And more world ranking points. Wants to climb those rankings desperately. Wants to get in that top 10 and stay there.
And into the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe Jelle is qualified for as things stand.
$122.
He has got a lot of money to defend coming up. So he knows he's got to play every week. 120. We've seen a few of these this weekend.
Looks a good guide for the treble. Finds the treble. Ooh, a little bit high on tops. And he loves double 19, Jelle. I think he'll go straight for this. Ooh.
Left. Left.
No score.
Up.
And up a bit. Well, he does. If he's got 76 left with 2 darts, he'll go 2 double 19. Jelle Klaasen. He likes that double, but you wouldn't know it from those 3 darts. And Peter Wright breaks straight back.
Just a game of missed opportunities and hit opportunities. One of those things. A little bit of a weird game, and Peter not happy with the way things are going right now, but he's 2-2. It could be a lot worse. He could be 4-0 down.
He could. He genuinely could. I know he missed 3 darts, Peter Wright, in the 3rd leg, which is one that he lost, but Jelle has had darts in every single leg of this match. But Peter Wright is there for the taking. He's been there for the taking all weekend. It's just people able to do it. And a part of it is that Peter Wright has now reached such an elite level that he does have that kind of an aura. I mean, it's not in the sort of Taylor and Van Gerwen kind of way, but it's very difficult to beat him. And a lot of the players he's coming up against
95.
haven't beaten him for a long, long while, and Jelle is one of them. The last time Jelle beat him was 4.5 years ago. He has lost the last 9 against Peter Wright. He won the first 3 meetings between them, including one at the World Championship back in 2012. But 9 in a row for Peter Wright, and a lot of them convincing victories. But that's a maximum for Jelle Klaasen.
That's an astonishing statistic. It really is. 140 for Peter. 260s. Can't do it now. So Jelle, one of those tricky opportunities once more, because Peter will leave tops. Only just.
86.
Now he left 140. 82. And he will want those 3 darts back.
That is a nightmare. You're on a potentially 11 darter, and then you put in a visit like that.
He's given himself a telling off in the background, you can tell. Peter Wright. Too many colours on the shirt, Peter. Double 10. You want red. Gets red. Peter 3-2 in front. We are on throw, though, so no panic stations for Jelle. He does know
133.
that he's got to break Peter Wright, and has known that since the very beginning of this match.
Well, that is the first leg where Jelle has not had darts for it. He should have had a dart for it, because he had 3 darts in his hand looking at 86. But it's been the story of this tournament so far, that Peter Wright has been vulnerable, particularly at the start of games, and nobody has really, really punished him.
134.
Now Jelle Klaasen has failed to take advantage and finds himself 3-2 down. Five Euro Tours won in his career, Peter Wright, but 4 of them this year. 9 titles in total this year for Peter Wright. 1 more, and he will join a very illustrious and very short list of players who've got double figures in a year. Michael van Gerwen, Phil Taylor and John Part, I believe, are the only other players who have picked up 10 in a year. Even Gary Anderson didn't manage it that year, when it seemed like he was winning everything on his way to his first world title.
Great statistic.
There is, I know that
99.
Stats Dwarf on PDPA isn't quite sure. He's not sure whether some of those are actually genuine ranking titles, but that is what the PDC were going on at the Champions League of Darts last weekend.
Still a long way to go in the season as well.
Yeah, there is. I mean, Peter Wright turns up for everything. You know, we'll see him play both ones in Dublin. We'll see him play the midweek ones in Barnsley. We'll see him in the World Series in Dusseldorf.
140.
And we may see him make it 10 here tonight.
Single 14. Tops for 3-3. And it's in the spot as earlier on. Just dipped at the very last millisecond. Can Peter Wright compound the misery of the Cobra once more? Don't think he's going to go tops. All he wants is 1 tops. Can he make it 4-2? No.
And you can see he's caught the flight there. He's furious with himself because he couldn't figure out where to stand to have a throw at it. Jelle Klaasen is going to give him another go, though, and it's more missed opportunities for Jelle Klaasen.
You can tell Jelle is furious with himself. He knows that Peter's there to be taken, and he's not taking his opportunities. And a lovely kiss of that first dart into the double 10. That is the definition of a good guide and using the dart to your advantage.
Well, Peter Wright cannot take top spot on the European Tour Order of Merit with victory here tonight. But he'll go very close to Michael van Gerwen at the top and take it all the way to Göttingen, the final Euro Tour event of the year. And he will want to go in as #1 seed. Make no mistake about it. And VG has decided not to play here this weekend. A baby shower for his new daughter. But he's allowed a weekend off.
100.
But I think just Peter Wright, particularly the way he dominated at the start of the year, he will want to go to Hasselt and say, I'm top dog, I'm the man to be beaten. Certainly the man to be beaten here for Jelle Klaasen, and so far he's not really been up to the task because he's only 2 out of 11 on his doubles, and if it was anything vaguely like we expect from Jelle Klaasen, then Peter Wright would be in all kinds of bother, but it's just not happened again.
Been a good leg so far for Jelle.
95.
Not bad at all. He'll be first to a double, you would think.
Well, that's the thing. He was on an 11 darter earlier on and never got a dart for the leg.
60.
He has to get one here, surely. He got 2 visits from 92.
You'd think so. Treble 16. Double 12. Yeah, that's more like it. It's that old thing, isn't it? 3 darts in hand for 1 double. A little bit of trouble. A 3-dart combination like that, absolutely no problem. Most importantly for Jelle, though, back on throw. Now he hasn't a chance to go forward and put an assault on the Peter Wright throw, but only if he can hold here.
Well, he had a bit of a battle past Peter Jakes. Well, and indeed Brendan Dolan gave him a bit of a test, Jelle Klaasen, in his first 2 games this weekend. He has had to dig deep and find some pretty decent stuff. It was a 97 average against Dolan. It was nearly 94 against Peter Jakes, but there was some good stuff at the right times.
140.
There was some real snap in the wrist on that throw. That was aggressive. Good stuff from Klaasen. Starting to find it now.
180, number 3 for the world number 3.
137.
This is a proper leg of darts. You can just see the demeanour of both guys now. Very focused, not missing, getting on with the job.
105.
This is a key leg in this match to see who's going to go forward.
Peter Wright hasn't finished anything more than 64 so far in this game. But this 120 put him 1 away from the semi-finals. Awkward, but he's good at negotiating past blocker darts. Doesn't do it on this occasion.
100. He only requires 62.
Treble 16 perhaps, or treble 18 for double 4. 22 scored, 40 left.
Game shot.
Nothing left. 4-4. He's staring at management. I'm sure they'll be nodding in approval now. 4-4, as you were at the very start of the match. It's level. Best of 3 now.
Well, that'll be a relief for Jelle Klaasen because tops has not worked for him so far in this game. He missed a dart at tops for a 114. He missed a dart at tops for a 48. He missed a dart at tops for a 102. But finally, he pins it.
49.
And he's changed his game. He used to leave double 18 at every available opportunity. He's gone to tops because he thinks that long-term that will work better for him.
We've got 2 splitter doubles as well, so 20 to 10s to 5s. Whereas with 18s, you've only got 9s. You split 18s and 9s and you've got a dart you can't use. It's very smart. But the thing that Jelle will like the most in the last couple of legs,
96.
crisp, clinical, hitting that double straight away. Gets him back in the match. Better start to this leg from Peter.
100.
3 tons. And in that game with Gary Anderson last week, he was on the 5-ton leg in the very last leg. Ton. Missed 12 for the 5-ton game and was then eliminated by the Flying Scotsman in what was a great contest.
Yeah, unfortunately for Peter, in the penultimate leg, he missed a whole host of darts at double.
Oh, he's just spoiled the 5-ton leg now by hitting a 25 at the end there. Nobody likes the 5-ton game anymore. I think it's a great thing to do. However, he doesn't care. He just wants to win the leg. 81 remains. Double 12 now. To be 1 away, and is 1 away. Some clinical aggression from Snakebite. Jelle Klaasen now needs 2 in a row. Otherwise, he'll have to wait for another opportunity to win a Euro Tour title.
And that critical 9th leg, Peter Wright produces his biggest check out of the match. And it's a sign that even when you're not playing anywhere near your top level, just finding ways to win. And it might only be, a 15 darter, a 96 check out. It's not going to get any headlines, but it's important and it can win you games. And Peter Wright, once again, is finding a way to give himself a chance to win a game when he has been nowhere near his normal level. But Jelle Klaasen is not going to go quietly. 180 number 3 for the Dutchman.
Can the plot thicken even more? Crowd, fantastic order. They're gripped by this, as we are. Both players belting that 60 in this leg.
100.
It's going to come down to some classy finishing, I feel. A bit of magic or a couple of missed shots at doubles could cost someone this match, or give them.
Well, we've not seen a ton plus checkout in this match so far, but it could be decisive here. Not going to see the 1-2-8 from Klaasen, the 1-2-1. Peter Wright loves a 1-2-1. Took this out to win in Saarbrücken earlier on this year against another Dutchman, Benito van der Pas, who was averaging 110 against him. Took it out in a deciding leg on the bullseye. Looking at the 11s. And it's the bullseye once again for a spot in the semi-finals.
96.
And how Benito van der Pas wish that he would do that against him in the final, but he didn't. Klaasen's got 10s now to stay alive.
55. He's here by 25.
And that might be that for Jelle Klaasen. Once again, a run to a final session on the European Tour. Wow.
Really required 10.
Well, it's very symptomatic of the game. There have been missed shots at doubles. One more. Oh, it's too high. It was a great guide.
BT required 8.
He will not believe that he was not able to put that one in. And Wright breathes again with 3 more for the match.
Game shot.
And he only needs the 1, and he holds his hand up in apology. How Peter Wright continues to do this weekend, I am not exactly sure, but do it